So today we're doing the last chapter, 9D, which is Pythagoras in circles or like spheres and things. We'd already covered this a little bit way back when we did Pythagoras, but we're just going to go over these ones. These are probably a little bit more challenging, these questions. So we're going to have a couple of examples in our book to make sure we're covered for the exam. So I'm just going to zoom in here on this question so it's a little bit more in. So a pond in the shape of a hemisphere has a radius of 5 meters and it contains a depth of water of 1 meter. So it says find the length of the water line. So when they ask for the length of the water line, what they're actually asking for there is across here, that whole diameter there. Sorry, I'll make that a little bit clearer. So what they're asking for is the diameter of that small circle. So that dotted line is a small circle. So it will not have the same radius as the other one. So they said this one has a radius of 5. So what they mean by that is if I go from here to here, that's 5. Also this line there to there is 5, and also from that down to the bottom of the pond would be 5. So what you can see, you can set up a triangle in there, and they've sort of drawn it for you, because when they say the depth of water is 1 meter, what you actually know is like, so pretty much up to there, that part there is 1 meter. So what would that make the difference of this bit be? If I draw that, if the whole way was 5, remember that to that was 5, and we're going to take away 1, what are we left with? We're left with 4. So can you see if I drag that triangle out, I've got here, that's the 4, and here out to the edge of the bowl, where is a big radius, so we're going to say 5 meters, and here along here is this line here, and that is the radius of the small circle. So if you have to find the length of the water line, it's going to be the radius, or it equals the diameter. Yeah? So we could use Pythagoras and find that, and this is what they've done right here. Or I'll just put it down here anyway. So using Pythagoras, it'd be 5 squared equals 4 squared plus r squared, and then they've found that it equals r. You can just use solve if you like, and comma r, and we found that r equals 3. Sorry. Okay, so now you know the radius is 3, so therefore the diameter would be 2 of them. So it's the water line. Oh, actually, sorry, I'll take that back. That's the diameter. I actually think the water line, they might actually mean the circumference of that circle. So how do you find the length would actually equal the circumference. So how do you find the circumference of a circle? It is 2 pi r. So we just found out what r was. So we'll go 2 times pi times the radius, which is 3. So whatever that equals. The answers are there. So it's 18.85. So with the length of the water line, I think they're a bit unclear. So see how I thought that was a diameter and it's actually the circumference. I think in a VCAR exam, they need to be way more clear, because I could take see how I took it the other way as well. So in a VCAR exam, or your exams at the end of the year, they are way more clearer on what you want. So you're going to find this chapter a little bit harder than what you might see. They will be much more, they'll give you a diagram, and they'll probably label exactly what you're finding, so it won't be as confusing, but it's good to have these in our books. Anyway, so then the next question they're asking us, if you have a look there, the shortest distance along the surface of the bowl between L and M. So what has happened is they've got this smaller circle, and this is where this L is, and they've brought that up the top, and they've said there's L. Okay, so they're saying the shortest, and then you bring up the point on M, and there's M. Okay, so then what they've drawn there is this circle here. Okay, so this is L and M on the greater circle. So we knew that when we went across the water, the diameter, we knew that was 6 because we found this radius to be 3. So when they asked for the shortest distance between L and M up on the top of the bowl along here, what you've actually got there is the arc of a circle. So remember, arc is pi r angle over 180. So you've got the radius, because you know that's 5, and you know what pi is, and obviously know what 180 is. So we need this little angle in here. So you can see what they've done is they've used our triangle. They've used this little triangle, which we know all about. So we knew that, if I draw it over here, we knew that was a 4. Well, we definitely know that this one was 5, and we've got this bit was 3. So what they did is they found this angle up here using, which one did they use? 3 over 5. So they used that. So if you look at that, they've used sine, and they've found sine, the angle equals 3 over 5, and they got the angle to be 73, which is here. And then they popped that, they got the angle to be 36, and then they doubled it. That's what I was about to say, it should be doubled. And they've doubled that, so you've got this one in here, and then they put that into the formula in there and found it. It's a little bit hard to understand that question, but they'll do it in the chapter, and I would really prefer that you have this one, which is why you've got it in your notes. So if you got the same question, they would do the same similar thing, that you understand you can just follow the steps, because it might be hard to understand that it got dragged up and it's not on the top of the big circle. It's not actually opposite sides, like across the diameter, like it is when it's in the smaller circle. All right, so then let's go to page. I think we'd done this question before anyway when we did Pythagoras, but I'll do it again with you. So this is the solution over here from the examiner's report.
I don't think we have that.
Way back in Pythagoras. Oh, you've got it back in Pythagoras, okay? But just to go over it, so it says that the radius is 10 centimetres. So from here to here is 10 centimetres. But remember also, here out to here is 10 centimetres, and also there to the bottom would be 10 centimetres. So when they say the bowl contains 2 centimetres depth of water, so from there to there is 2 meters. Now find the radius of the surface of the water. So our question is that one in there. But we can see we now have our little triangle, because if we know that if there to there is 2, then what would this bit be? Be 8. So you've got your triangle now. You've got, that's 10, that's 8, and this is the question, and you just use Pythagoras, which is what they've done there, and they found out the radius is 6. Okay, that's pretty easy. So that was the exam question that they had. So that one I think we've got under control now. I haven't seen the other one that we did come up, but it could come up. So it comes up in the textbook, so maybe we should, in the chapter, so maybe should make sure we've got a good copy of how to do both of these. Okay, and that finishes all your